Let's get more now. We can bring in Laura Blumenfeld, Middle East analyst and senior fellow at the Philip Merrill Center for Strategic Studies at Johns Hopkins School for Advanced International Studies. John Alexander to be released by Hamas. Obviously, this will be greeted as great news by his family, by other hostage families there in Israel. What's your reaction? Are you surprised by this?
Well, look, it's America first. He's the only living American hostage. The question is it America only? And I think that's what the hostage families in Israel are asking themselves and frankly asking Netanyahu, can you deliver for us as the American president delivered for the only American hostage? It's a great Mother's Day gesture. It's just the kind of thing that a family from Tenafly, New Jersey, which is where Eden Alexander is from, would welcome. He's not just any hostage, though. He's a 21-year-old soldier who was taken from his tank on October 7th. He's an MVP, really, for Hamas, a most valuable prisoner in terms of an exchange. And yet, Trump was able to release him for free. There are no Palestinian prisoners that have to be exchanged in order to win his freedom. And it just shows that as much as there's bad blood between Hamas and Israel, Hamas is trying to have a gesture of goodwill between it and the United States because it understands it has perhaps a unique opportunity on the eve of Trump's visit to the Gulf region to exercise some leverage over Israel.
Yeah, so potentially a gesture of goodwill then towards the Trump administration. So what does this mean, do you think, then, for these efforts and for these ongoing talks to try to strike another ceasefire deal?
Well, I think what Israel's trying to do is trying to assert some control. Look, it's part of a pattern, right? You have Netanyahu was taken by surprise when Trump announced negotiations with Iran. Then they announced a truce with the Houthis this week. And the only way they found out about the release of an Israeli soldier, really, I mean, he has American citizenship, but he is an Israeli soldier, was through their own spy network, reportedly, who were spying on Hamas. That's how they received the news. So I think that there could be potentially a larger deal. That's in everyone's interest, but Israel is kind of spinning it already and saying, if there is a larger deal, we already accepted the Witkoff proposal months ago. We are negotiating under fire. Those are our circumstances. And they will also be achieving our objectives, which is complete victory. So I just wonder if there is a full ceasefire now, whether Israel will claim, well, we have achieved our goals, and then everyone can kind of, claim victory and go home.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, Laura, Israel doesn't appear to have been really, not only a part of the deal, they weren't really aware of it for some time. President Trump, we know, won't be visiting Israel on this upcoming Middle East trip. How do you assess all this? Where do you think the relationship stands right now between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu?
I don't think it's personal, and I don't even think it's political. I think it's business. I think war is bad for business. Trump is, on his way to the Middle East, frankly, looking in search of gold. Netanyahu, when he came to the White House, he gave President Trump a gift. It was a gold-plated beeper, which of reference to, of course, the undercover operations in Lebanon against Hezbollah. But Trump is after a gold-plated jumbo jet, which he's getting as a gift from the Qataris. I think that's what it's all about right now. It's almost like a binge kind of spree through the Gulf region. It's arms sales, negotiations for real estate and weapons deals and potentially energy deals as well. So I don't really see it necessarily as tension, although there is, of course, personal tension between Netanyahu and every American president. This time I think it really just has much more to do with business.
Yeah, and I guess in the meantime, we should also mention, Israel still appears to be on the offensive or defensive, however you want to put it, when it comes to the Houthis. We saw more attacks, reports anyway, of strikes on Hodeidah in Yemen.
Absolutely. I mean, Netanyahu's approach right now is that, there is little pity for victims in the Middle East. And if he wants to strike that normalization deal, whether it's with Saudi Arabia or perhaps expanding even the Abraham Accords with Lebanon, Syria, there's plenty of opportunities as there are threats today. But, Netanyahu says that nothing is accomplished without a show of force. President Trump says the Iranians will sort of cave to his conditions by the force of his personality. And the way Netanyahu would respond to that would say this is the only force they understand.
Laura Blumenfeld, always great to get your perspective hearing that news that John Alexander is set to be released by Hamas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.